Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free French ebook before it's gone.
Welcome to Fun and Easy French by FrenchPod101.com. Do you know which version of Beauty and the Beast is the most popular in France? Stay tuned to find out. Salut, je suis Lia. Hi everyone, I'm Lia. In this lesson, you learn all about the best French films for French learners. Watching movies is a great way to practice the language that you're trying to learn. It lets you hear the language in a natural setting, and it can be fun too. If you don't understand something, you can pause, rewind, or check the subtitles. That's not something you can do during a conversation. In this video, you'll learn about classic French movies, movies centered on the French sense of humor, romantic French movies, and French dramas. After watching this video, you'll have a watch list of movies that will help you improve your French. Let's start with some classic movies which will help you better understand French culture. These movies are a little old, but are considered classics of French cinema. The first classic film we'll talk about is Jules et Jim. Jules and Jim. Jules et Jim. Jules et Jim. This film was originally released in 1962, and it was directed by François Truffaut, a legend in French cinema. It tells the story of the rebellious character Jim and his shy friend Jules as they both fall in love with the same woman, Catherine, just before the First World War. The next classic movie we recommend is À bout de souffle, Breathless. À bout de souffle. À bout de souffle. This was directed by Jean-Luc Godard and released in 1960. The film is about a young rebel on the run named Michel, who seduces an aspiring journalist named Patricia, who then joins him on his escape flight to Italy. The last classic movie we recommend is Jean de Florette. Jean de Florette. Jean de Florette. This film was directed by Claude Berry and released in 1986. It's set in rural Provence, France, in the years following World War II. The story is about how Hugolin Soubeyran and his cunning grandfather, César, schemed to trick the naive Jean de Florette out of a plot of land he just inherited. There is a sequel to this film called Manon des Sources, and they were both based on novels by Marcel Pagnol. Let's continue with movies which will help you master the French sense of humor. Comedies are great because they are not only fun to watch, but they also provide insight into daily culture. Your French friends will love to discuss this movie with you, and you'll surely recognize some of the quotes in casual conversations. The first comedy we'll mention is Les Visiteurs, The Visitors. Les Visiteurs. Les Visiteurs. It was directed by Jean-Marie Poiret and released in 1983. In the movie, the medieval Count of Montmirail and his servant Jacques la Fripouille are sent to the 20th century by mistake. They discover modern civilization as they try to go back to their own time. Next up is Le Père Noël est une ordure. Santa Claus is a stinker. Le Père Noël est une ordure. Le Père Noël est une ordure. This was also directed by Jean-Marie Poiret, and it was released in 1982. This was originally a play, but then became an iconic movie. It tells the story of two volunteers at a suicide hotline that are working the Christmas Eve shift. Several people unexpectedly show up at their office, and things spiral out of control. The next comedy movie that I introduce to you is Le Dîner de Cons, The Dinner Game. Le Dîner de Cons. Le Dîner de Cons. This was directed by Francis Weber and released in 1998. The story revolves around a snobbish Parisian man called Pierre Bronchamp that organizes idiots' dinners. At these dinners, each guest brings an idiot with them, to be mocked by the other guests. At the end of the evening, someone is voted Idiot of the Evening. Things don't go as planned when an employee of the French Finance Ministry, François Pignon, is invited as an idiot. Many of the jokes in this movie are puns. Now, it's time for some romantic French films. As you may come to realize, many French people love romantic stories that have a quirky twist. The first romantic movie is Le fabuleux destin d'Amélie Poulain. Amélie. Le fabuleux destin d'Amélie Poulain. Le fabuleux destin d'Amélie Poulain. This movie is known in English as Amélie. It was released in 2001 and directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. The story is about a shy waitress, Amélie, who decides to fight her own isolation by transforming the life of her neighbors for the better. Next is L'Auberge Espagnole. Potluck. L'Auberge Espagnole. L'Auberge Espagnole. This film was directed by Cédric Clapiche and released in 2002. In this movie, a student named Xavier takes advantage of the Erasmus program to spend 1 year in Barcelona. Throughout the movie, his new roommates and chance encounters mark his life in unexpected ways. The last romantic movie that I'll tell you about is L'écume des jours. Mood Indigo. L'écume des jours. L'écume des jours. This movie was directed by Michel Gondry and released in 2013. It's an adaptation of a 1947 novel by Boris Vian. In the film, the ideal life of characters Colline and Chloé turns sour when a lotus seed starts to grow in Chloé's lung. And lastly, here are some French dramas. The first French drama that I want to tell you about is the dark musical film Huit Femmes. 8 women. Huit femmes. Huit femmes. It was directed by François Ozon and released in 2002. It tells the story of 8 women from the same family that are trapped together during a storm. When the family's patriarch is murdered, the 8 women start to suspect each other of committing the crime. The next drama is Intouchables. The Intouchables. 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 This film was directed by Olivier Nakache and released in 2011. In the film, the suicidal and disabled Philippe finds a new appreciation for life when he hires Driss as his personal caregiver. The final drama I'd like to introduce is La haine. Hate. La haine. La haine. This movie was directed by Mathieu Kassovitz and released in 1995. In the movie, the fate of 3 friends takes a turn for the worse when one of them finds a police officer's gun. Before I go, another movie that I want to tell you about is La Belle et la Bête. La Belle et la Bête. La Belle et la Bête. This story has been remade several times, most famously by Disney, twice. You may know it better as Beauty and the Beast. The most popular version in France is the one directed by the legendary Jean Cocteau. It's old. It was released in 1946, but don't let that date put you off from watching it. It's a surrealistic masterpiece. In this lesson, you learned about several French films that will help you improve your French. But do you want to learn more? You can get cheat sheets for all kinds of topics: travel, hobbies, love, and much more. And you learn all of the must-know words and phrases for each. Click the link in the lesson description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get them. That's it for today. See you next time. À la prochaine!